In this video, we're going to look at 2 example student responses to question 1 on the Eduqas style English Language Component 1 exam paper. Remember, you can pause the video at any point if you need time to read through what's on screen. So, let's get started. The question we're going to be focusing on here asks you to read lines 1 to 13 of the text and list 5 things you learn about the doll in these lines. There are 5 marks available, 1 for every correct piece of information. Our keywords here are list, 5, and doll. Remember, highlighting them is a good way to keep you focused. While you read the given lines in the text, try to highlight the obvious and factual information, known as explicit information, about the dolls first. Then look for the hidden and inferred points, known as implicit information. Now let's take a look at student A's response to this question. This student has attempted to make 5 points, but they'd only be awarded 3 out of the possible 5 marks. Let's look at why. The first 3 points, it is propped up against cushions, it is wearing mittens, and it has yellow hair, would each be awarded a mark, because the student has accurately retrieved this information from the text. It's the last 2 points, the hair is crimped and it is intelligent, that they wouldn't get the marks for. The hair is crimped is a factual and obvious piece of information taken from the text. But this student has tried to split 1 point, that the doll has yellow crimped hair, into 2 separate ones, yellow and crimped, so they wouldn't get 2 separate marks. Yellow and crimped both refer to the doll's hair, which means that this student has made the same point twice. Lastly, their point that it is intelligent is a misreading of the text. Student A has focused on one word, intelligent, and then associated this with the doll. Instead, what the writer actually says is that the doll's eyes suggested a dormant intelligence, alien and monstrous. This means that the doll's eyes made the doll seem to be alive or conscious. The author is suggesting that it was as though the doll had an intelligence that was asleep and foreign to us. The verb suggested in the text doesn't mean that this is true, though. A good tip here is if there's a quote you don't fully understand, don't pick it for any of the questions. Remember, you've got the choice, so choose wisely. Now let's take a look at student B's response and see how it differs. As we can see, this student has used the safety net approach and provided the examiner with a 6th possible answer. Luckily, they didn't need the additional mark, as they would have received the full 5 marks for their first 5 answers. But they might not have been certain during the exam that they made 5 accurate points, so it was a good idea to include a 6th one just in case. Overall, their response is focused on the question and accurate, and they comment on both explicit and implicit information. Their points that the doll is wearing mittens and has azure eyes are explicit, as they're facts taken directly from the text. Their point that the doll intentionally imitates how a child would look is implicit, as they've inferred it from the information given. This student has also tried to save themselves some time by starting their answer with, "I learn the doll." Here they're using a sentence that clearly addresses the question, while also setting up the opportunity to use a list with bullet points. We'll leave it there. Hopefully you can see the difference between the 2 responses and where the marks came from. It's a great idea to get some practice in before the exam, so why not look over the question and text for this question in our example paper and see if there are any more correct answers you can find. As you're not under exam or timed conditions while revising, you can also spend more time rereading through lines 1 to 13 of the extract to build up your confidence with this skill. Eventually, you can practice improving your response time, but for now, it's getting the skill right that's important. Remember, to be successful on this question, don't forget to look for explicit information and implicit information in the text, highlight the evidence, and list more than 5 things. Make sure you're not making 2 separate points out of something that's actually only 1. And if you don't fully understand a quote, don't use it. Good luck!